What's up everybody, Adrian here, back with another video. So I just wanted to compare all the Marvel films to the DC films in the order they came out in, and when the decline started happening towards the woke direction. So as you can see, Marvel, in 2000s you had the X-Men, you had Spider-Man, you had the Hulk, Daredevil was in there, more Spider-Man sequels, you had the Fantastic Four, originally which was the best out of all the remakes. Then you had Spider-Man 3 which bombed, and then we got to 2008 with Iron Man which was the first phase, so we'll get to that. Then with DC, as you can see here, you had the original 70s Superman, and then the third one bombed. Then you had the 80s, which you had the Tim Burton Batman, and they did really good. Then you had the Joel Schumacher Batman, which stunk, but it's fun to watch now. Oh, of course you had Shaq as Steel. Then you had the great Catwoman with Halle Berry. Okay, in 2005, which was way before Iron Man, you had Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. That's when it started. Then you had Superman Returns, which stunk, but I don't think DC at that time had everything planned out of like, okay, we're gonna do Brandon Routh as the new Superman and teaming up with the new Christopher Nolan Batman. No, it was just a movie and it sucked and whatever. Then you had the sequel to Dark Knight, and then that was at its peak. It was amazing with the Joker, Heath Ledger, great. So that was 2008, and now you got Iron Man. So Marvel was like, oh yeah, you put out Dark Knight with Heath Ledger with the Joker? Well, let me show you what I can do. We got motherfucking Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Iron Man. Also in 2008, The Incredible Hulk. I like that movie. Punisher was okay, X-Men okay. Then you had this whole trend of like superhero movies. It started taking off. 2010 you had Kick-Ass, and then Iron Man 2 sequel, which wasn't that good. So in 2009 with DC, you had Watchmen, which was okay, reasonably successful, but it was just a one-off. Jonah Hex 2010, let's forget about that movie. Then you had 2011 Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds, and it completely sucked. So that kind of put a damper on the DC superhero movie thing, okay? But then 2011 you had Thor, and that was really good. And then you had more X-Men First Class, and that was another reboot of the X-Men genre. So that was good, even though that's Sony, right? Kind of like Spider-Man. Then you had Captain America, the First Avenger. Really great movie. Ghost Rider sucked. Then you had the first Avengers movie when everybody comes together, and it was one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, and that was in 2012. And in 2012 you had The Dark Knight Rises, finishing the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. I thought it was okay with Bane. Heath Ledger died, so Christopher Nolan had to X the script and rewrite it on the fly, and that's what you got. So then you had a reboot now, and they got really serious at DC with Man of Steel, and they're like, okay, we gotta compete with Marvel, so we're gonna do what Marvel did and start with Man of Steel. So then Marvel continued and did a reboot of Spider-Man. And the first one was really good, The Amazing Spider-Man, fine. Then you had the third movie for Iron Man, which was okay. You had Kick-Ass 2, whatever. Wolverine, sucked. Then you had a sequel to Thor, The Dark World. That was still good. Then you continued Captain America Winter Soldier, which was really good. And then Spider-Man 2, which shit the bed. And they didn't even get a third one. They're like, we're done with Spider-Man. So now we get to DC, which was Batman vs. Superman, and it was built like a big, huge event. And to be honest, this movie sucked. It is unwatchable to me. If you like it, great. But it was a massive disappointment, because instead of doing Man of Steel 2, DC got scared, and they're like, we're gonna be left in the dust by Marvel. They're already on their second phase, and coming up soon on their third phase. So we gotta hurry up. Just put everybody together. We'll throw in the Flash in a flashback real fast in a dream sequence. We'll mention Wonder Woman. We'll mention Aquaman. We'll mention Cyborg. And it was shit. Then they did Suicide Squad. I like Suicide Squad. Many people didn't. The second one was even better, but they tried to connect that to Batman and Superman and all that. So then Marvel came out with more X-Men Days of Future Past, which was amazing. Then out of nowhere came Guardians of the Galaxy. Not many people knew what to expect with this, but it was a smash hit. Baby Groot, Chris Pratt, who was beloved at the time, now he's a fucking pariah, which I love Chris Pratt, by the way. You had a fucking raccoon, you had Dave Bautista, and some green bitch, and it all worked. Great writing, great script, great characters, and then that was kind of like another big blow to DC. Then you had Avengers Age of Ultron, another ensemble cast movie, but it wasn't as good as the first Avengers. Avengers. Then you had Ant-Man, which I haven't seen, but I heard it was like 50-50 hit or miss, but it was good enough. They added him to the cast. Then you had Captain America Civil War. I haven't seen it, but some people liked it, some people didn't. Maybe it was necessary, maybe not. X-Men Apocalypse, great in 2016. Then you had Doctor Strange. The first one was really good, I liked it. Then you had Logan, which was really good. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was even better. I think the number one. Now with DC in 2017, we have Wonder Woman. At first I liked Wonder Woman. The more times I see it, don't really like it. My favorite part of Wonder Woman was Chris Pine. But then DC was like, hey, we got another hit. We got another chance with Wonder Woman. We're not fully dead yet. So 2017, they did their first Justice League. And you know what? It fucking sucked. It was unwatchable. But then people were blaming, the studio didn't let Zack Snyder do what he was supposed to do. Zack Snyder had personal issues. Unfortunately, his daughter dying and he had to step away, and Joss Whedon stepped in and rewrote his crap, which I never understood. Why would you have Joss Whedon, who's associated with Marvel? He wrote, directed the Avengers. But you're gonna go over to DC and hope that he's gonna write an honest, good script and not purposefully try to fuck it up as their competitor? Because it is a competition at the end of the day. He injected his comedic bullshit in there, but the movie sucked, and then many people online, like Geeks and Gamers, they petitioned and fought hard to do a Zack Snyder cut, and I haven't yet seen it, but again, some people loved it, some people hated it, but now Hollywood just wants to forget about the Snyder cut, pretend it never existed, and we're rebooting everything. So that's 2017 Justice League. And now you got 2017 here with Spider-Man Homecoming, and that was a success because they included Tony Stark, Iron Man, Michael Keaton was cool, Thor Ragnarok, didn't see it, but it was a mixed bag. Then 2008 Marvel, you had Black Panther. Everybody said this was the greatest movie ever made in history, and it completely wasn't racist, but whatever. So then you had Avengers Infinity War, and I thought that was really, really good. Then you had Ant-Man sequel and the Wasp, whatever. Then you had Venom, which wasn't directly connected, but eventually now they're probably going to connect it to the other superhero movies. So that's 2018. You even had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is not Spider-Man, which is Miles Morales. So then with DC 2018, you had Aquaman, which was good. Everyone loves Jason Momoa. Nobody loves Amber Heard. Justice for Johnny, by the way. So now we get to 2019. Let's just finish this off with the DC universe. 2019, you had Shazam. Really love that movie. Glad it's getting a sequel. Then you had Wonder Woman 1984, which was garbage. Then that's it for DC. And they're going to begin with the reboot of the Justice League with the Flashpoint movie with Ezra Miller. But there's still more for Marvel. 2019, you had Captain Marvel, which the movie was garbage. Talk about a Mary fucking Sue. And to prove that it sucks so bad, the sequel to it, if they're ever gonna make it, they don't even name it Captain Marvel. I don't know what they're gonna call it, Marvel something, whatever. But then you had Avengers Endgame, which wasn't as good as Infinity War, but it was 10 years in the making, and they interject in Captain Marvel, and the only reason they made $1 billion for all you brainwashed pieces of shit, or like, yeah, but Captain Marvel made a lot of money, over $1 billion. That's because they forced you to watch it so you can see Endgame. They sandwiched it in between there. If Endgame never happened, no one would have fucking went to see Captain Marvel. So after Endgame, everybody was like, phew, I'm done with that. What more do they got? Now they have all the secondary characters, which we don't really care about. We're gonna take all the original characters and swap them for women and diverse woke bullshit and just shit on the originals. You had Spider-Man Far From Home, which was okay, I liked it. Then you had Black Widow, stunk. Shang-Chi, stunk. Then you got the fucking Eternals, diverse vomit bullshit. And they're like, oh no, what are we gonna do? We're in panic mode. Save us, Sony. Save us, Sony Spider-Man. Because we had Black Widow fail, Shang-Chi fail, Eternals fail, and Marvel was gonna become irrelevant. But then Sony Spider-Man No Way Home comes in, and you had Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and all the villains come to the rescue. And it gave Marvel its injection of adrenaline, and it brought it back to life. And now Marvel lives to fight another day. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you next video.